Welcome to the deep dive. If it feels like AI innovation is just this relentless wave, always bringing one more thing to discover, well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're really diving into AI's next chapter. This is a phase where the tech is becoming, well, incredibly practical, deeply personal, and yeah, pretty profitable too. Our mission. Simple, really. We want to cut through the noise and get you straight to the most important bits, the key nuggets of knowledge. We've got stuff from an insightful AI blog, some really groundbreaking MIT research, and a comprehensive A16Z report. We're aiming to help you quickly grasp how AI is evolving, not just the theory, but, its everyday stumbles and its most advanced leaps. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is exactly that tension you mentioned. We're really at this crucial inflection point. AI is moving sort of from just promise on paper to actual, tangible, real-world application. And this whole journey, it's showing us both the limitations, the challenges, but also the profound, honestly, game-changing potential.
Right.
It's less about what AI could do someday and more about what it is doing right now and how that's shaping things, immediately.
That's a really vital distinction. And speaking of AI kind of integrating into our daily lives, let's start with something maybe familiar, the fast food drive-thru. I mean, we all heard the initial buzz, didn't we? AI drive-thrus promising super fast, error-free orders. Taco Bell, for instance, they went big, rolled out these chatty AI systems in over 500 locations. The idea was simple, smoother, quicker service. But, well, as often happens when complex AI meets the messy, unpredictable real world, it hit some, let's say, amusing bumps.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that viral story, the prank order for 18,000 cups of water?
Like chuckle, I do, yeah.
It just completely froze the AI. And it wasn't just funny, it really resonated, didn't it? It tapped into that customer skepticism, sparked all those online jokes about AI maybe not being quite ready.
Definitely.
Even Dane Matthews, an exec at Taco Bell, was pretty candid. He said the tech sometimes lets me down, but sometimes surprises me.
A very honest take.
Right. So it makes you wonder, what did these early experiments, these high-volume, very human-centric tests, what did they really show us about AI in these public-facing roles?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
these early experiences, they really highlighted a crucial lesson about where AI is right now, especially in complex customer-facing spots. AI it can definitely process language, follow rules, that sort of thing. But for now, it's that human element, interpreting nuance, handling the totally unexpected, delivering actual empathy that still gets the job done.
Okay.
So Taco Bell is now strategically reevaluating, thinking about where AI fits best, maybe human operators for the really busy times, and using AI more for, say, data gathering or as a backup.
Makes sense.
And we saw McDonald's, right. They paused their AI drive-through tests last year. Now they're actively looking for new tech partners, trying to refine things. The source material points out that while companies like Yum Brands, Taco Bell's parent, are teaming up with giants like NVIDIA,
Right, I saw that.
to develop better voice AI, better computer vision tools, using platforms like Byte by Yum. These systems, they still need smart supervision. Byte by Yum is apparently already effective behind the scenes, Inventory, kitchen schedules, ordering tech, predictable tasks.
Okay, the back-end stuff.
Exactly. But right there at the point of sale, where you need that quick, accurate, and sort of empathetic interaction, especially when someone's just trying to order a taco.
Yeah.
Drive-thrus just aren't fully ready for a complete robotic takeover.
Yeah.
Not yet. For now, that human voice, maybe even a human touch, it still matters.
That's such a great concrete example of where the promise meets, well, the current practical limits. But it also sets us up nicely for where the tech is making huge strides. Let's pivot a bit from those everyday applications to the real bleeding edge of AI research. Because there's something truly revolutionary cooking in the labs. Imagine an AI that doesn't just sit there waiting for updates or these expensive retraining cycles. Imagine one that learns on its own, constantly evolving, getting smarter as it goes. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's exactly what MIT has been developing with this groundbreaking system they call SEAL. Stands for Self-Evolving AI Language Model. So this whole idea, an AI that really learns autonomously, keeps evolving.
Right.
It does sound almost like science fiction. What's the core breakthrough here? How does SEAL actually manage this? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, the core breakthrough with SEAL, its ability to let language models train and adapt themselves. They actually generate their own training prompts and retraining steps.
Wow.
This basically lets the model absorb new knowledge permanently without needing a human for every single update. And why does this matter so much?
Yeah.
Because traditional fine-tuning, well, it's powerful, but it sort of hard codes a model to a fixed data set.
Right. Makes it rigid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rigid when it faces totally new tasks or information that changes fast. You often need these costly full retraining cycles. Seal, though, it kind of elegantly sidesteps that rigidity. It teaches the model how to restructure its own input, learn more effectively, which is just crucial for dynamic enterprise uses where info is always changing.
Okay, so how does it work? What's the mechanism?
It's pretty ingenious, actually.
Okay.
Seal runs on two loops. There's an inner loop for small, immediate self-edit updates tweaking its own parameters.
Okay.
Then there's an outer loop that tests if that update actually improved things. It rewards the good edits, refines its own self-improvement strategy over time. It's like this continuous meta-learning feedback system.
Meta-learning. Okay.
And here's a really clever twist for making it scale. It can use a teacher-student setup. So a more sophisticated teacher model crafts the edits,
Gotcha.
and a student model applies and tests them. That makes using it in an enterprise setting much more practical, more scalable.
So it's not just learning, it's literally learning how to learn better. That feels like a major leap.
Correct.
What kind of results, what performance gains are they actually seeing?
Oh, the real-world lifts are quite compelling. On knowledge-based tasks, Seal pushed accuracy up to 47%, which is impressive in itself. But what's really remarkable, it even beat what you'd normally expect from a highly tuned GPT-4 instance at creating useful synthetic training examples.
So it makes its own training data.
Effectively, yes. High-quality data for itself to learn from, that's potentially massive for overcoming data scarcity issues. And then on these few-shot reasoning puzzles, like the ARC dataset.
Ah, yes, those are tough. They test fluid intelligence, right?
Exactly. Inferring rules from just a few examples, Seal scored an amazing 72.5%. Compare that to like 20% without this kind of reinforcement learning and basically 0% with standard prompting. It's a huge jump.
Wow, that's significant.
And this gives it a huge enterprise edge.
Oh.
Think about it. Human-generated data can eventually run out, right? Or become outdated.
Yep.
But Seal's ability to generate its own high-quality data means models could potentially keep improving indefinitely, especially in these rare or really complex areas where human data is scarce. You get more adaptive, more capable AI agents over time. Now, look, there are practical caveats, of course. It can suffer from catastrophic forgetting, overwriting old knowledge. But they think that can be managed with a kind of hybrid memory strategy.
Okay.
And also doing these self-edits in real time. Currently pretty costly, pretty slow. So a more practical approach for now is probably batching updates, maybe hourly or daily, to keep it efficient. This raises an important question, doesn't it, about a fundamental shift in how AI will be developed, maintained, and continuously improved down the line.
Absolutely.
The so what here is really clear. Seal demonstrates how AI can move beyond being static tools to becoming truly self-improving systems. For startups out there building smart agents or services that constantly need to adapt, this could be a profound game changer. The future really seems to favor models that can teach themselves.
That definitely paints an ambitious, a really exciting picture for AI development. So while some models are in the lab learning to teach themselves, the actual commercial landscape, the apps people are using, that's also maturing fast, right? The A16Z report you mentioned gives us a good look at this evolving ecosystem. It says the market is kind of settling into a rhythm and suggests a new wave of genuinely original products is stepping up now that the initial, maybe novelty rush of generative AI is fading a bit. So if the market is settling into a rhythm, what does that rhythm sound like? Who are the key players making noise now, and what trends are really driving user adoption in this next phase?
Yeah, the 5th edition of that A16Z report gives us some great context here. It shows steady growth overall, web and mobile Gen AI apps, but with some really interesting shifts happening. For example, the number of new web apps dropped quite a bit, from 17 last cycle down to 11. That signals less churn.
So maybe getting harder for newcomers to break in just on hype.
Exactly. It suggests a more stable, maybe more competitive market. Novelty alone isn't enough anymore. Mobile, though, saw 14 new apps pop up.
Yeah.
But that seems largely due to app stores cleaning out a lot of the early copycat apps.
Right. Clearing the way for more serious contenders.
Precisely. Paving the way for more substantive offerings.
Okay, so less churn online, more legitimate apps appearing on mobile. Feels like the early gold rush is definitely shifting. Is Google making a big play here?
Oh, absolutely. Google's presence isn't just significant, it's growing fast. They now have 4 separate spots on the web list alone.
Okay.
Yeah, Gemini's number 2, right behind ChatGPT, pulling in about 12% of its web traffic, which is substantial. Then you've got AI Studio, the developer sandbox. It's in the top 10 now.
Right.
Notebook LM is at hashtag 13. Seems to be holding steady since it went viral almost a year back as a research tool.
Mhm.
And Google Labs is hashtag 39, but it got a big boost recently from their VO3 video model launch back in May. That's drawing a lot of eyes.
Video generation is huge right now.
It is. And on mobile, Gemini is also number 2 behind ChatGPT there, but it's closing the gap significantly.
Mhm.
It's reached nearly half of ChatGPT's monthly active users, and like 90% of that traffic is on Android.
So a strong Android base helping Gemini mobile.
Definitely seems to be a factor. Now, the report confirmed ChatGPT still dominates both platforms, no question. But rivals like Google, Grok from X, Meta, they're clearly starting to narrow that lead. And another really key trend the report highlights is this shift away from just chat about something apps towards make something apps.
Ah, interesting. Utility over conversation.
Sort of, yeah. Tools for creation. Video creation tools,
Hmm.
climbing fast. Google Labs VO3 gave them that 13% traffic bump just from the launch.
Yeah.
And on mobile, challengers like Polybuzz and Pixverse, they jumped from basically nowhere at the brink list into top 100. Why? By offering simple, creative outputs, things people can actually make.
Okay.
And coding-focused sandboxes, like AI Studio, they're also gaining ground. Super important because they lower the barrier for developers to just jump in and experiment with these multimodal tools.
So the market wants tools now, not just chatbots. Tools that let you create things directly. That definitely redefines utility, doesn't it? What does this mean strategically for founders trying to build something in this space?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this links directly to the strategic advice for founders in the report, the generative AI market. It's clearly moving from being a sprint to more of a marathon.
Right. Endurance counts now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the real insight isn't just build something useful. It's that the market now values specific kinds of utility. It's moving past the novelty of just chatting with an AI
Yep.
and prioritizing these make something apps, tools that directly help you create something, or ones that lower the barriers for developers. The winners now. They're the apps offering real, tangible value, carving out a unique niche, and growing authentically, not just based on some flash-in-the-pan hype.
Makes sense.
So the advice from the report is pretty clear. If you're building the next breakout AI product, your focus has to be on substance, genuinely solving user problems, especially through enabling creation.
Substance over flash. A timeless lesson feels especially relevant here. And just to round things out, we saw one more interesting little glimpse, didn't we? From X.com, highlighting Google again.
Yeah, that nano banana.
Yeah, an AI where you can create an image, but then add characters, objects, even text annotations, and it places everything perfectly into the scene.
Right. It understands the composition.
Exactly. It's not just generating pixels, it's about sophisticated scene understanding. Hints at that next level of creating control AI could offer. A perfect example of a make something app, actually.
And maybe just one quick, slightly different glimpse into the future, a Left's Model A flying car. Remember how that broke the internet when it was announced?
Vaguely, yeah. The flying car concept.
Well, apparently it's heading out for its first actual test flight soon. Just a little reminder that innovation isn't only happening in software, the physical world is getting interesting too.
Wow, okay. Flying cars. That's a whole other deep dive, maybe.
Chuckles. Maybe so.
What an incredible journey, though, just in this conversation. We started looking at those real practical challenges, didn't we? AI and Drive-Thrus, highlighting that need for the human touch still.
Mm-hmm.
Then we jumped to the absolute cutting edge with MIT's SEAL. These revolutionary self-learning systems that promise AI that can constantly evolve.
But yeah, the potential there is huge.
And finally, we looked at the commercial side, the maturing app landscape via A16Z, where it's less about hype now and more about original products, real creative value being king. Our goal for this deep dive really was just to give you a clear, concise, hopefully insightful handle on these really complex, fast-moving topics. So what does this all mean? Where is AI truly headed based on all this?
You know, I think it means we're witnessing this really dynamic tension playing out. On one side, you've got the tech bumping up against very real current limitations. It still needs human oversight, human intervention, especially in those fluid, messy human interactions.
Right, the taco order problem. Smearly.
Yeah.
But on the other side, its ability to learn autonomously, to self-improve, to generate creative output, that's accelerating at just an incredible pace. We're talking AI agents that could adapt and evolve almost independently. We're right in the middle of these profound shifts, I think. Shifts in how technology learns, how it interacts with us, and how it's ultimately going to reshape our world. We're navigating this future where the line between just a static tool and a truly intelligent entity, and it's getting blurrier all the time.
Indeed, it is a lot to think about. And considering that the future really does seem to favor models that can teach themselves, and yet a human voice still clearly matters when you're just trying to order a taco. It leaves us with this final provocative thought for you. Where do you think the true frontier of AI lies right now? Is it in automating the really complex stuff? Or is it maybe in perfecting that human connection?